Hello everybody, Train from Living Intentionally here. Most of the energy healing videos I make describe hands-on healing techniques. Hands-on healing is intuitive and comes naturally for a great many people. Today we're going to take your healing skills to the next level and introduce how to do distant healing. And the best part? You can use distant healing techniques to augment your hands-on healing sessions and kick the effectiveness up to a whole new level. With hands-on healing, we're used to the idea of chasing the pain. We find out where it hurts, place our hands there, focus on our breathing, all while drawing energy in from the world around us to impart to the area that requires healing. With distant healing, however, our interaction with the area requiring healing becomes much more abstract. With distant healing, not only are we not touching the injury, we may not even be in the same country. This has especially been the case for me. I've lived in Japan since 1991, but most of my clients have been in North America. And because of that, the vast majority of my healing work over the last 30 years has been via distant healing. The first technique I'll describe can be summed up with one sentence. Imagine the energy meeting in the middle. Those of you who have watched some of my other videos on how to run energy or work on specific issues may have already heard that phrase. The idea behind it is that when we're running energy into an area, we imagine the entire area, including the surrounding tissues, being completely infused with healing life force energy. If you're not yet familiar with the concept of running energy, click on the video above.
So tip 1, expanding on the idea of having the energy meet in the middle. We can imagine a miniature sizing of your client, pet, or the like so that they're encapsulated between your hands. This is a perfect visualization for generic healing sessions that simply focus on well-being. Because you're not focusing on a particular ailment, this technique has us running energy as a whole to our client. This is an effective strategy in all cases because of the fact that all healing is self-healing. And we, as energy healers, aren't in control of what happens to the energy once we've offered it to our client. In all cases, the client's own body determines where the energy is best used and takes care of its own delivery. For us as practitioners, this lightens our load considerably. Our job is to deliver the energy for the highest possible good, hold space for a positive outcome, and then energetically get out of the way so that the client can carry out the necessary healing.
When I'm doing distant healing, I like to create an image in my mind of what it would look like to be doing an actual hands-on healing session with the person. And to create an avatar that suspends any sense of disbelief, I often even move my hands into the same positions I'd have in a hands-on healing session.
For our second tip, we're going to envision the actual area that needs healing is between our hands. For example, if your client has a broken leg, we'll visualize the area of the break between our hands. While this isn't a requirement for effective healing, some practitioners feel more aligned with the work being done this way when they visualize specific healing taking place. When we imagine the energy going straight into the area requiring healing, it may help us to suspend our disbelief and be more effective in delivering energy. As with my earlier comment about how the body knows where energy is best utilized, the same holds true here. Even if we hold a particular image of how the body should use the energy, the body's innate intelligence is ultimately in control. Whatever needs the energy first will get it.
Adding to that idea, I might even imagine what the tissue looks like inside the body as I'm doing the work. This ranges anywhere from visualizing what the energy flow looks like in the area to literally creating a sequence in my mind that shows the tissues being repaired. Feel free to be creative in this process. If you're working with a client who is experiencing cancer, you might, for example, choose to imagine T cells coming to the tumor and destroying it. And to really ramp up the healing potential, if you can get your client to imagine the same sort of scenario, the area in question will get a tremendous boost of energy. There's an oft-quoted expression, where thought goes, energy flows. And when we place our awareness within tissue, we immediately increase the energy and blood flow within the area.
This form of energy delivery is ideal for people who have a mechanical view of the world around them and really enjoy actively doing things. The concept is to envision that we're inside the area that needs healing and that we imagine both offering energy directly to the area at the same time as imagining physical healing processes taking place. For those of you who are mechanically inclined, it can be fun to imagine repairing damaged tissues and seeing in your mind the restoration of optimal function. It's worth stating that none of these approaches are inherently better than another. This is really a matter of personal preference. The mode that achieves the most complete suspension of disbelief in you is ultimately the mode that will prove to be the most effective in your client. When it comes to energy healing, the most important thing is how our intention aligns with our belief system.
Now you might be wondering about how all this works. How does placing your awareness into tissues work when those tissues might be on a different continent? Well, the answer? Consciousness is a non-local phenomenon. And with that statement, it's important to not confuse thoughts with consciousness. Thoughts are the domain of the brain. Thoughts are very much a local phenomenon. Consciousness, on the other hand, is non-local in that it isn't driven by the brain, or at least not by any processes upon which science can completely agree. Science has yet to quantify exactly what consciousness is. So while we know we have consciousness, our science hasn't quite caught up with metaphysics. We know we haven't, but nobody can exactly describe how it may or may not interact with the world around us. Now, if you're new to the idea of energy healing and haven't yet really felt energy, you should have a look at this video linked above. That will help you to be able to sense life force energy. And once you get comfortable sensing and working with life force energy, working with distant healing techniques becomes a whole lot more natural. You can use exactly the same techniques of placing your awareness into tissues during an in-person hands-on healing session as you would during a remote distant healing session. In fact, I consider all healing to essentially be distant healing. If you've done the exercises in the How to Sense Life Force Energy video, you'll already have discovered that our sense of touch can extend beyond the body proper. Moreover, if you look at to the subatomic level, the matter with which we interact daily is more space than solid. And because of this, touch is a relative sense of proximity rather than something substantive. When you can shift your attention to a different part of your body and you feel the sensation in the body follow that shift in awareness, you'll be well on your way. And most important of all here is to have fun with all of this. Energy healing should always be a joyous exploration of possibility. It's about breaking through limiting beliefs, suspending our tendency to disbelieve so that we can get out of the way and let literal miracles happen. Now, if you or someone you know suffers from the discomfort of their temporal mandibular joint, check out this video next.